TNT just released the Face Off. I gotta say, this is probably the full Face Off because it was the Face Off for Usyk and Fury ahead of the rematch. Now, we all know when they do, even for rematches, when they do Face Off, it's normally someone in the middle, both fighters to the side, going, you know how it is, going back and forth. I guess they could still do that, but judging by the way Steve Bunce was talking, I suspect, I could be wrong, but I suspect this is the only one they're going to do. And it wasn't so much a fighter talking to each other per se, they're both in the room. And this was obviously done either before or after the press conference because Usyk was still in his Agent 47 attire. Thank you to the subscribers for pointing that out. Not a big fan of the Hitman games, but we're just going to say it like that, Agent 47 attire. And Tyson Fury was in his, the same as he wore at the press conference. So it obviously happened either before or after, most likely before. But, you know, it was a couple of months ago. Now, in this press conference, sorry, not in this press conference, in this face-off, it wasn't as straightforward as I said. You had Steve Bunce there, Usyk, Fury, but it wasn't face-to-face. Instead, what they did is they literally just went back and re-watched more so the key moments of the first fight, but it was interesting to see how the fighters reacted. Oleksandr Usyk's reaction as well as Tyson Fury's. You know, with Tyson Fury, in the pretty much up until the press conference, and even then he still kind of said it, but he was really saying it an awful lot post the Oleksandr Usyk fight before they had their first press conference for the rematch. That it was easy. You know, it was easy. He couldn't lay a glove on him. And I'm trying to push it, but I did do a film study during the week, which is, you know, available on the channel. You'll see it there on screen. And I go through a lot of the rounds, but in particular a lot of the shots that landed early in the fight. For Fury to say or insinuate that it was easy early on is just not the case. And I think if you watch the film study, you'll see that. You'll see that Usyk was landing from very early on. So he was trying to push this narrative that it was a sympathy vote for Oleksandr Usyk because of the issues that's going on in Ukraine. You know, he won the fight, it was easy. All this nonsense that anyone who watched that first fight from objective eyes could see is not the case. He was completely outlanded. You know, apart from rounds 4, 5 and 6, which are the only rounds you could clearly give to Fury, every other round was Usyk and Usyk big, with maybe the exception of round number 12, maybe. So he ran with that narrative. But when he went to that press conference, it changed. And again, watching this, there's not the greatest amount to dissect in a way of body language. Both guys appear to be confident. With Oleksandr Usyk, it is that stoic, you know, where you hurt. No. Because in round 6, obviously he was hit with some uppercuts. That's what Steve Bunce said. Oleksandr, were you hurt? No. I just, you know, sometimes something like that is the best thing to say. And with Tyson Fury, you know, in the early rounds, Steve Bunce was making note that, you know, Usyk was landing, Fury was having a success, and saying to Tyson, did you expect that type of fight early on? Oh yeah, you know, I'm paraphrasing, oh yeah, you know, it's competitive, it's this, that, and the other, which is completely contradictory to what he'd been saying to interviewers like Box Nation, etc., that, it was easy. And I don't want to say Tyson Fury didn't look confident, sat there with Oleksandr Usyk watching the fight. You know, that's wrong. I don't want to say he looked completely overconfident either. He just looked like Put it like this: for me, when I watch both guys there, Oleksandr Usyk still is the man in that room. And every now and again, the camera would flash where Fury would be just stoic, looking at the fight, looking at, you know, what was going on, and you just see the glimpse of Oleksandr Usyk, eyes locked on Tyson Fury, and. The guy is, I think Tyson Fury knows damn well in terms of mentally, he has just met his match with this guy. I think that's why we've seen a lot more respectful Tyson Fury in the run to this fight, because he knows himself, you know, that bravado, all this, that and the other, it just ain't going to work with Oleksandr Usyk. And to go into that face-to-face where, you know, in the past we have seen Tyson Fury, I know against Usyk in the first face-to-face he was quite respectful, but, you know, when he feels, you know, he's right or trying to push something, you know, we've seen him get a little bit animated. You know, against Klitschko, you know, he broke Klitschko down in that face-to-face, in my opinion, anyway. Against Oleksandr Usyk, it's a lot more respectful. And as it progressed, as they went through, you know, everything, they were asking Oleksandr Usyk about, you know, when he hurt him in round number 9, they showed footage of that. And, you know, they asked Usyk, you know, do you have any issues, or were you thinking? And it's just, no, I don't think about that. It's just about fighting. and that's what he talks about. And it was the insight he has is really interesting. It's really interesting to see the way his mind is. I don't mean this in a disrespectful or a bad way, but when it comes to Usyk and boxing, he's almost like a robot. It really is. It's just, as he said himself, it's just literally you wake up, you train, you fight, and that's how he's dedicated himself. I mean, that's literally how he lives his life. Even now, it seems. It just seems wake up, train, fight. Fight night comes, and then you go to that another level. And that's the way he appears, and he just appears when he's looking at boxing, when he's talking about boxing, when he's at these face-offs, he's just in that zone. Honestly, it's incredible to watch. It really is. I mean, I think that obviously it is one of the reasons, not just the fact that he's incredibly talented, that he's been able to be as successful as he is. That, for any fighter, will take some doing to be like that. And at the back end of this, it is interesting as well. And it is something that I did say as well in that film study, but Steve Bunce put the question to Tyson Fury in this rematch, are you going to do anything different? And he said, well, look, I really am a back foot fighter, which Tyson Fury fundamentally, that is his style normally. But he said that people say that, come march forward, gloves up like that to Oleksandr Usyk. But Fury is right in a sense. He's not, Fury isn't stupid when it comes to boxing. He does have a good boxing brain. He says that would be easy work for Oleksandr Usyk because you're coming to him. And he said that if it was that easy, and he's right, if it was that easy, why didn't Joshua do it? Why didn't Dubois do it when they fought Oleksandr Usyk? He's completely right, Tyson Fury. I do agree with him now and again when he does say things. Again, he's completely right. If it was easy, everyone would do it. Acknowledging the fact that Oleksandr Usyk is so difficult, he is so hard to fight, he is so good at adjusting that if you did charge at him and you came at him, it might be the best way to actually win the fight in terms of, dictate the pace. But you leave yourself at a big disadvantage in terms of, you're making it easier for him to hit you. And being the fact that Tyson Fury is obviously 6'9", Joshua, they're both big men, they're both big lumps of men, much bigger than Oleksandr Usyk. You can only do that for so long before, the lactic acid starts building up, your legs start getting weak, and before you know it, you're done after about 6 rounds. So it was an interesting face-off. I would be interested to know if they did, because this was only about 12 minutes long. I would be interested to know, was there a lengthier one? There was obviously bits they cut out because they only showed a handful of rounds. I think they only showed the first couple of rounds, a bit of the 6th, the 8th, and then the 9th and the 12th. Excuse me. So there is probably a lot more of that. Will they release more of it closer to the fight? I don't know. Have they done a proper face-to-face, this, that, and the other face-off? Again, Bunce was alluding to the fact that they hadn't, and this was obviously filmed, when was it October? The weeks are going by so quick since I've been here. I think it was the end of October. I'm pretty sure it was. So you're talking a month ago, roughly, was when they would have filmed that. I can't imagine Fury's confidence nor Usyk's confidence has, gone down anymore from that. It was an interesting watch, as well as the press conference. This has been an interesting watch, just from the outside looking in. I think it's been more interesting this watch around, just from a kind of just psychological point of view, seeing how different Fury's been to his approach. He looked so angry in the build-up to the first fight. From the very first press conference they had about this time last year in London, he just looked like a guy who was just angry that he was there. He does seem a lot more calm going into this fight, but it's that in the sense of he knows that okay, just the pressure is gone, the O is gone, so I'm getting paid. Or is it a case of okay, well look, I'm going in, I know what I did wrong, let's do it again, we're here now, there's no point being angry. So I don't know, it's an interesting one. So that was the face-off, is the review. Again, I don't know if this is the full one, but I personally, there wasn't much going on in it. But I did quite enjoy it. I actually did. The 12 minutes just went by like that. So, interesting watch. I recommend you give it a watch. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Did you watch it? Have you watched it? If you go and watch this video and then watch it, let me know what you think. Smash the like button if you could, people. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, peace.